Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian and it's time for another pandemic battle report. And in this one here, I put out the challenge to Arcane Assist. I said, Arcane Assist, I'm going to be playing Aurora2. You can take whatever insignia you want to face it, but all you know about my list is that it's going to be Aurora2 Mercenaries version. And so Rebecca from Arcane Assist came back and she was like, oh, look, I'm so smart. And what she took is Stryker1 running a Hurricane. So we're going to talk about why this is going to be bad news bears. But let's just jump right into it. So this is what it looks like from the Stryker side. As always, lists are down there in the comments. And what Stryker has is a big old Hurricane, two of the Freebooters. I only own one, so if you see the Clamps from Cephalix, that's another Clamps from Mercenaries. There's also 3 Talons. I only own 1 Talon, so that's why there's a couple of Signar Lancers out there. But, you know, there's also some, Legion of Lost Souls on the right there. There's 2 units of the Mechanics. You got Alexia, 2 on the left side. There's Hermit, Ragman, all that great stuff. And I'm really happy that there's not any Archons because I am all Archons. I am the Descent of Angels. We'll talk more about when we come to that side over there. But let's just say for now that there's a lot of flying things over there. And for those who don't know, the Hurricane, which I just quickly painted for this game, by the way, so that's why it's like shining silver, because I just did like 2 quick paints and said, like, okay, at least it's not black on the table. But he has this great rule saying that if you start your activation within a foot of it, you lose flying. And that's really, really bad if you're, an army based on flying. So we'll talk a little bit more about what's going to happen here on this side. But I talked to Banky about what she'd want to have happen in this first turn and in this game. And it's basically press forward, be very aggressive, get off the feet so that everything is a bajillion armor, and then just kill stuff. It's pretty straightforward. All right, jumping over here to my Descent of Angels list, and by the way, I love this list. I think this is not going to be a good matchup for it, but this is a out-of-theme Aurora2 list that is running and by the way, I don't have Aurora2 yet, so that's why I have this little fairy creature that's on there. But I have a Mangler with her. I also have a Nomad for the Battlegroup, and then I got 2 Void Archons, 2 Thamarite Archons, 2 Morrowan Archons. I also got Gaspy3, who's running a Shrike, but I don't have one of those yet either, so that's why there's, the little stalker there. Whatever, it's a flying thing. And then otherwise, we have things in here like Widget that has flying and loves it. And then the 2 models that I have without flying are my 2 Powder Monkeys, which are like, hey, something that can empower for 2 points? Yeah, that's great. It's one of the benefits of going out of theme. So really, what this list is supposed to do is just threat very far and yo-yo and grind you down, because she has all those different commands for things you can do with models with flying, whether it's -3 range to hit them, dodge and repo, and the feet's extra damage. Things can go very fast because of the feet, and with Gaspy 4 rather. But unfortunately, once pretty much Stryker pops feet and runs up, that's going to mean that all my things are going to lose flight. So that's going to be very problematic. What I've done is tried to space out. And I mean, one thing that's kind of awful here is normally I could be using terrain to my advantage. And by the way, the 2 hills there are clouds as usual. And I could be using terrain to my advantage and then flying over them to be hitting my target. Well, I can't do that because I'm not going to have flight. So my hope here is that I can pick away at the stuff on the right, while hopefully my elements on the left can really go through all of those Legion of Lost Souls very quickly. Even if they have Arcane Shield and then Shield Wall and all those types of things, I can still kind of get through that with all my debuffs, and if I get the Mangler on them. So it's all about what I can actually try and get off here. But to be honest, folks, this is not the way I wanted to show off how good this out-of-theme list could actually be. Alright, so Stryker goes first, and it's pretty simple. We're going to be putting Snipe up onto the Hurricane to try and get off those shots if possible. Blur is up onto Stryker himself, and then on the far right, we have Arcane Shield up onto the Legion of Lost Souls. You know, those guys. Otherwise, I'm kind of keeping things wide just in case, you know, the Void Archon tries to go out very far either side. But yeah, I think this could have been maybe a little bit different if Aurora2 would have gone first, but that's not the situation. So on Aurora2's side, this is going to be difficult. And I mean, one of the first things is that Gaspy has these lovely clouds. And so I can put these clouds there to make things a little bit more complicated. But this is also a scenario with an objective. Wouldn't you know it? On the other side, I wasn't an idiot. I took the objective that lets me have true sight. So the clouds really don't do too much, actually, to be honest. They might shut down some of, you know, Stryker's spells if he wants to arc or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, I've pretty much set myself up so that if the Hurricane wants to walk up and shoot, then it won't be able to hit those backline things. And then meanwhile, I have the Nomad further up, I have the Mangler further up, so maybe I can get in and hit something. The worst thing I want to do is stay so far back that I'm just not even in the game. But yeah, I'm currently using the ability so that all my things with flight right now have your -3 to shoot them with ranged attacks. But yeah, I just gotta hope that I can actually chew through this armor on feet turn, which probably won't really be good. Alright, so otherwise, coming over here for the Stryker turn, there's not much to actually really do. I upkeep all my spells, I run up with the things on the left, and so on the left I'm really setting up 3 lines. The front line is going to be the Talons, then behind that I have the Freebooters, and then behind that I have the Hurricane. I want nothing to get on the Hurricane. The Freebooters are actually fairly important in here. They actually do a lot of work, so I'd rather not lose them, and then I got the Talons in the front. Now, the nice thing about this is that if you ignore the Talons, they have stationary for jacks, so whereas sometimes it might actually be difficult for the Hurricane to hit the Mangler, because the spell that I put on it with Aurora2 that gives it flying and, you know, +2 defense actually means it's defense 13, so it's actually a little bit difficult for it to be hit. But yeah, otherwise, you know, I'm just going up in shield wall on the right, everything's staying fairly safe. I have a shield guard by Stryker if I try to go for an assassination, but to be honest, the assassination would not be very likely. And yeah, that's really it. Just going up there saying, all right, what are you going to do? So I do my best over here with Aurora2 to try and do something. I don't want to trigger the Legion of Lost Souls on the left, so I'm just jamming them and trying to be in a spot where next turn, when they're not having super armor, I can actually go through them very well. The ability I did this time is the dodge, so everything here on the right will not have flying, but the stuff on the left will actually have dodge, so a Morrowan with dodge is pretty nice. Meanwhile, what I needed to do on the right was try and hit these things as hard as possible. If I can, take out both the Freebooters, or if nothing else, take out its Cortex or something important, because thanks to the Thamarites and their long threat, the mechanics actually had to hold back, and because of that, they're out of range to repair. So that's good if I can get in there and crack them. Unfortunately, this turn had comically awful dice. Freebooters actually have fairly solid defense normally for a Jack. They're defense 12, and so when I'm swinging in with some Mat 6 stuff with my Jacks, I miss some very critical attacks, including my charge attack with the Mangler. So I do my best to try and crack these things, and in the end, I didn't really get any of it done. Each Mangler is down an arm, one of it is down its movement, but that doesn't really matter at all. So after that, I kind of go over with Aurora, I gate back my Mangler, which is my most important piece, and then all I can really hope is that I can hold things down. So just an absolute flub of a just a nothing done turn, you know, like it's one of those things where sure, I took off the arm of a Mangler, but at the end, they're going to hit me so hard that I don't know how much I'm actually going to lose here. So one of the things I kind of thought is if I was playing this my way, I would flip over and I would just attrition the hell out of this. I would just try and see how much I can kill and just keep on bullying the board. But what I thought I'd do is first try out an assassination. I was like, if Rebecca was here, she would go for an assassination, something janky and fun. Because when you got like freebooters and stuff, and they're all pretty much fully active, you can do a lot of interesting things. And again, one of the show notes that Rebecca sent me was also to look for like the knockdown assassinations. So we're going to go for that. So let's walk through my attempt. So the first thing I do then is, I guess before this, I had the Hermit go up and do his ability so that targets within 8 inches, I get +2 to hit with magic. Then I go up here with Stryker, and I go and I boost a Earthquake onto Gaspy. Gaspy is engaged, but again, I'm getting +2 to hit, I'm boosting. I get it, so Gaspy gets knocked down, which is, I mean, all the Archons pretty much can't be knocked down. Gaspy can be knocked down. The next thing I do then is I have to go in here with the Freebooter. It only has the one arm, but I'm going to hit automatically because of how Gaspy's knocked down. I'm going to be doing a power attack throw. Again, only one-handed because one hand is out, but that's easy and fine because my strength is normally higher anyway, so I have a pretty good advantage here. I beat Gaspy, I throw Gaspy right into Aurora, knocking her down. And then it's a pretty easy thing where I can walk over here and I have this nice little line going down there between the models. Gaspy's knocked down, so not blocking line of sight. And Aurora was only camping one after all the things she had to try and do. And so boom, 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 down she goes. And I win by assassination. So there's the game. Again, I really want to say that this Aurora2 list, I do plan once, you know, we're actually going to be playing out there more. I want to play the hell out of this because not only do I feel it's competitive, it looks and it's just it feels like such a fun army to actually play. So hopefully I'll be doing something that gives it a better shake. But otherwise, a big thank you out there to Arcane Assist for going out there and giving me the list here to crush me. Like, I guess, yeah, maybe this is kind of like a Stockholm Syndrome thing. Like, yeah, thanks for being so punishing to me. But there you go. We're going to have one more in this series, so hopefully you'll come back to watch that one. If you have any other comments about the lists or this game, please post them down below. But otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.